New Orleans Creole Story Pot presents We the Roux, the series. Bonjour amis, y'appelle moi Shawanda Marie, Monsieur la Louisiane de la Nouvelle-Orléans. I'm the owner of New Orleans Creole Story Pot, also an independent researcher and culinary storyteller. In this first episode, I thought we'd delve into the origins of a little-known folk tradition practiced in New Orleans for decades, actually centuries. And that is the feminine tradition of wearing Creole earrings for generation after generation. Traditions are often practices that are passed down from one generation to the next, that have origins in the past. Cultural customs or folk traditions are not always stated formally, but they tend to be things that people just do and have always done without even asking why. They don't ask the question, why do we do this? That's a tradition. It's something that's just passed on from mother to daughter, father to son, family member to family member, oftentimes never being questioned. In this photo, my mom wears her Creole hoops, and shortly after, she got my ears pierced. I was 2 weeks old. My grandmother bought me a pair just like this and put them in my ears. That was my first pair of Creole hoops. This is the smallest size they come in, and these were designated for the babies, little ones. But as you grew, your earrings got bigger. Turns out that this is a rites of passage practice, a custom that we did in our families and other families in New Orleans did without even realizing. The largest size earrings were never to be worn by a child, not a little girl. That's for grown women right there. You had to earn those, and they showed status and, a certain station in life wearing those big ones. I couldn't wait to be old enough and mature enough to wear the big size ones, like my aunt, my grandmother, my mom wore. I couldn't wait. I recently shared this rites of passage practice with a friend of mine from Senegal, and he told me that there's a similar practice there where, there are earrings made for children of a certain age. He sent me this picture. As I studied this picture, I was just amazed at how much they reminded me of my first pair of Creole hoops with the wide base and the tapered sides. That shape is the thing that determines whether a hoop is Creole or not. It has to be wide at the bottom and taper up small toward the top. These earrings also reminded me of a smaller version and a tighter, twisted version of the Fulani earrings. Those were the ones I studied when I initially began this quest to learn about the history of my Creole earrings, our Creole earrings. I immediately made the connection between our earrings and the earrings worn by the Fulani people of Mali, which is a part of the history of New Orleans people. It's also customary and traditional in Fulani culture that the women of greater status and wealth and age and maturity in the community wear the larger earrings. The smaller version of these earrings are for children, the little girls. Coincidence? I think not. This is the Louisiana Creole flag. Underneath it says, Mon Creole la Louisiane. It's basically saying Creole people. And if you notice, the flag of Mali and Senegal are a part of the Louisiana Creole flag. This flag is a partial representation of the early settlers who came to the Louisiana territory and created a Creole settlement, along with the indigenous natives that were already there. Louisiana and several islands throughout the Caribbean were colonized by the French. Pictured here are antique Creole earrings that were found in France. They were created in 1870 under the Napoleon III era. Napoleon III is the nephew of Napoleon Bonaparte, and he ruled France for a period. These 1870 antique French Napoleon III Creoles sold for $275, which is a steal of a deal. I wish I had found them first. While these aren't as old as the Napoleon III Creoles, they're all vintage as well, some of them over 100 years old. They all have that same beautiful Creole shape. They're gorgeous. Louisiana Creole culture, particularly New Orleans, has a very close connection to cultures in the Caribbean. You'll see women in traditional dress with their Creole hoops on throughout the Caribbean. These are women from Martinique, Cuba, this is Cuba, and also Haiti. They all wear Creole hoops. Like hundreds of other New Orleans Creole women, I've worn these earrings all my life. Here are the increments of the Fulani earrings from small to large. Look at the similarities between these earrings and the New Orleans Creole earrings, or the Creoles that we wear. They both go from small to large. This is tradition. This is rites of passage. So here I am through the years on my rites of passage journey with Creole earrings, Creoles. My grandmother bought my first pair, and my mom kept me supplied through the years. As I got older, my earrings became larger. I couldn't wait to get my last pair. My mom and grandmother presented those to me when I was 17 years old, and I'll never forget that day. Those are the ones that I wear today. Like many other women from New Orleans who's worn these earrings through the years, I didn't realize that this was a tradition or a custom until I started to research and ask questions. You know, being away from New Orleans and being in Virginia has allowed me the space to question the things that we do regularly, normally, on a daily basis that we don't even look at as tradition or customary or whatever. But I started doing the research, and I was fascinated when it all came together. And I thought I'd share that with other women so they could pass this special tradition on, you know, and understand the deeper meaning of why we do what we do. This is something that can go on and on and on with our own daughters and children through the years. The following are pictures of my family and the ladies and girls and women in my family who also carry this tradition and pass it on to their daughters. Once I posted it, it went crazy on my page. Women from all over the world, actually, but many women from New Orleans started chiming in about how they did this as well, how they remember these earrings, how they have their grandmother's earrings, and, you know, they have their mom's earrings, and just how special this is for them. Ladies, I want y'all to take this and run with it. Let's do this. This is ours. This is our tradition, and it's very special. It's not just a fashion statement. It's a cultural statement. We are Creole women from New Orleans, and let's represent it. I once met a woman in Chicago. She had on the earrings. I went up to this lady. I said, she has to be from New Orleans. And I asked her, "Man, where are you from?" I said, "I know this is random, but I got to ask you." She said, "Why?" I said, "Just please answer my question." She said, "I'm from New Orleans." I said, "I knew it." She said, "How?" I said, "Because I saw your earrings." She had the very same ones on that we wear. This is a cultural thing. It's our tradition. Let's not let it die.